You want to know what a market bubble looks like in real time? Well, we might just be living through one right now, and it's all centered around one thing: artificial intelligence. Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that is, well, it's pretty hard to wrap your head around. $5 trillion. That's the market valuation one single American tech company, NVIDIA, hit recently. Just let that sink in for a moment. It's a number so huge it almost sounds made up.
To try and put that into perspective, NVIDIA is now worth more than the entire yearly economic output of Germany, Japan, and India combined. We're talking about the first company in history to ever reach a valuation that high. But the craziest part isn't just the size of the number, it's the speed. The acceleration here is just staggering. In 2023, NVIDIA was valued at $1 trillion. Great. Then, just 3 months ago, it hit $4 trillion. And now, $5 trillion. We're talking a 400% increase in just 2 years, which you'll notice lines up perfectly with the AI explosion after ChatGPT launched in 2022. And this is what has experts, everyone from Bill Gates to Jeff Bezos, asking one really important question.
So what is this AI bubble people are talking about? Well, at its heart, it's this huge disconnect between all the money being poured into AI and the money that's actually coming out of it. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell the story.
So check this out. One analysis projects that over the next couple of years, more than $500 billion is going to be invested into AI, and that's just in the United States. To give you some scale, that's about the entire GDP of Singapore, a truly massive bet on the future.
Okay, but here's the other side of that coin. A recent Wall Street Journal report found that American consumers are currently spending only about $12 billion a year on AI services. See the problem? You've got $500 billion flowing in, but only $12 billion in actual revenue coming out. And that massive gap right there is the classic textbook sign of a speculative bubble. Despite all the hype and these insane valuations, a lot of AI companies just aren't making any real sustainable money yet. So why not? Well, it comes down to a few things. First off, running these super advanced AI models, it costs an absolute fortune. Second, very few people are actually whipping out their credit cards to pay for premium services like ChatGPT Plus or Gemini. And third, you have a ton of companies basically giving their best stuff away for free just to get users in the door. Like Perplexity partnering with Airtel or Google with Jio in India. It all creates this weird situation where cash is being burned, not earned. And that leads to a very strange game being played behind the scenes.
So this brings us to how this whole thing is inflating. See, it's not just new investors piling in. A huge chunk of the money seems to just be moving in a big circle between a few key players. Let me break down this circular flow for you. So step one, a chip maker like NVIDIA invests a ton of money, let's say $100 billion, into an AI lab like OpenAI. Okay, step two, what does OpenAI do with that cash? It turns right around and uses it to buy the essential AI chips it needs to run its models. From who? From NVIDIA. Then, step three, you've got another company like Oracle buying up NVIDIA chips to build out huge data centers, which they then rent out to their AI clients. Like, you guessed it, OpenAI. You see what's happening? It creates this powerful illusion of explosive growth and massive demand. But in reality, a big piece of that pie is just the same money getting passed around, almost like a game of hot potato, artificially pumping up everyone's numbers. Now, if a cycle of huge investment, crazy hype, and not so great revenue sounds a little familiar, well, it should. We've seen this movie before. To really get a handle on what could happen next, we gotta rewind the clock about 25 years, back to the dot-com bubble, because the parallels, they're seriously uncanny. Just look at this side by side, the breakthrough tech back then, the internet. Today, artificial intelligence. The story everyone was telling, back then it was, every business needs a website. Today, it's every business needs AI. And the growth? The NASDAQ stock market shot up 400% in 3 years. Today, NVIDIA's valuation is up 400% in just 2. It's almost the exact same playbook. So we have to ask, what happened last time? When that dot-com bubble finally did burst back in 2000, it wasn't pretty. The NASDAQ index completely cratered, falling by 78%. Trillions of dollars of value just vanished, and countless companies went down with it. Which, of course, brings us to the most important question of all. What happens if, or maybe when, this AI bubble bursts? Well, the general consensus among the experts seems to point to two possible outcomes that are actually linked together. Bill Gates actually summed up the first outcome perfectly. He pointed out that, yeah, most of those dot-com companies failed. They just disappeared when the money dried up. But out of that wreckage, out of those ashes, giants like Google and Amazon rose up to define the entire next generation of tech. The crash basically cleared out all the noise and let the real innovators shine. And that really leads to the main takeaway, a view shared by people like Jeff Bezos too. A crash is probably coming. A lot of companies are going to fail, and a lot of investors might lose their shirts in the short term. But, and this is the big but, the underlying technology, AI itself, is the real deal. It's truly transformative. And just like the internet, once the bubble pops and the dust settles, it will very likely lead to a new era of more stable, more sustainable, long-term growth that's going to reshape everything. Which leaves us with one last massive question. If history is repeating itself, then a major correction might be just around the corner. The real unknown is, when it's all over, who will be left standing? Will the next world-changing companies, the next Google, the next Amazon, be born out of this AI boom? We'll have to wait and see.